Imagine a world where the biggest football clubs compete against each other in a league of their own. Sounds exciting, right? But what if it's not all as rosy as it seems? Picture this, a Super League, a concept that took the football world by storm. The initial idea was simple, a competition featuring only the elite, the titans of the sport. However, the concept quickly came under fire. Fans, governing bodies, even some of the players and managers themselves expressed their dismay. The key concerns, the potential impact on domestic leagues was significant. It threatened to upset the balance of power, to diminish the importance of traditional competitions. The wider football pyramid was at risk, as smaller clubs could lose out on crucial revenue. And the concept of a closed competition, where the same teams compete year after year with no promotion or relegation, well, that just didn't sit well with the spirit of the game. Despite the backlash, the Super League didn't just disappear into thin air. Stay tuned to find out how this controversial project evolved. The Super League's fate was ultimately decided not on the pitch, but in the courtroom. It was a battle of words and wits, with lawyers and legal experts stepping into the metaphorical football field, their arguments acting as their defensive tackles and offensive strikes. On one side, FIFA and UEFA stood firm, arguing that the Super League was a threat to the traditional structure of European football. They insisted that their governing power should extend to sanctioning the clubs involved in the Super League, maintaining the status quo. On the other side, the Super League's legal representatives argued that football, like any other industry, should be allowed to innovate and adapt. They challenged the idea that FIFA and UEFA had the sole power to dictate the future of the sport, pushing for a more democratic approach where individual clubs could also have a say in shaping the game's evolution. The courtroom was a tense battleground, as both sides presented their cases with fervor. The decision of the EU Court of Justice was eagerly awaited, not only by the parties involved, but also by football fans across the globe, many of whom had been following the proceedings closely. In the end, the court ruled in favor of the Super League, concluding that FIFA and UEFA lacked the power to sanction the clubs involved. This decision potentially paved the way for the project's revival, a significant victory for the Super League. However, this ruling did more than just tip the scales in the Super League's favor. It also sent a clear message about the freedom of football. It highlighted that the sport was not the exclusive domain of a few governing bodies, but a global phenomenon that could be shaped by various stakeholders, including clubs, players, and fans. With the court's decision, the Super League seemed to have won a significant victory. But what did this mean for the future of football? The answer to that question, as we will see, led to a reimagining of the Super League, one that would go on to redefine the landscape of European football. In the wake of the court's decision, the Super League didn't waste any time in reinventing itself. Rising like a phoenix from the ashes of controversy, the Super League, under the leadership of A22, has proposed a new format that seems to have addressed some of the initial criticisms. This new blueprint for football, or soccer for our friends across the pond, sees the male version of the Super League now boasting a roster of 64 teams. This is a significant increase from the original dozen elite clubs that sent shockwaves through the football world. But it doesn't stop there. These 64 teams are further divided into 3 distinct divisions. This divisional system could be seen as a nod to the traditional football pyramid, a structure that was sorely missed in the initial Super League proposition. Each division will play its matches, and there will be promotions and relegations, which will keep the competition open and dynamic. This could be a game changer, a setup that allows more clubs to share in the spotlight, and perhaps a more level playing field for those smaller clubs that dream of one day playing amongst the giants of football. But the question remains, is this enough? Will this new format win over the hearts and minds of football fans worldwide? Can it soothe the critics who saw the original Super League proposal as a threat to the very soul of football? These are questions that will be answered in the weeks, months, and years to come. With these changes, the Super League hopes to revolutionize football. But will it succeed? Only time will tell.